By their own right, Astra Militarum soldiers are an elite fighting force. In comparison to your average Planetary Defence Force soldier, Astra Militarum regiments are extremely effective soldiers. Imperial Guard regiments themselves often boast of specialised units. From scouts to shock troops, these specialisations can be varied but share one key element. These tend to be the best of the Guard regiment. But what if I told you the Imperium deployed an even more elite baseline human soldier? A soldier that follows orders without question, a soldier without hesitation, a soldier devoid of fear. And no, I'm not talking about the Adeptus Astartes. These human soldiers are known as the Militarum Tempestus, or in Low Gothic, Tempestus Scions. Tempestus Scions often function alongside Imperial Guard regiments, or in sole fighting forces, and are tasked with high risk and highly important missions that regular guardsmen cannot handle. From spearheading vital attacks, daring aerial attacks, to infiltration missions and deep recon, Tempestus Scions take to the missions with grim discipline, obeying orders without question, doing everything in their power to achieve mission success or die trying. Let's take a closer look at these elite units. Tempestus Scion recruits are taken from the best the Imperium have to offer. Sourced from the Schola Progenium, recruits tend to be orphans of Imperial officers, nobility, and Astra Militarum heroes. Usually, Officio Praefectus officials, who are tasked with the salvaging of Imperial worlds, will come across orphan children from aristocratic elites. These orphans are then passed to the nearest commissar, who takes them into their temporary care to then organise transport to the Schola Progenium. However, in the rare time that recruits are drying up, it has not been unheard of for commissars to kidnap noble children and pressing them into service. The Schola Progenium is where the Imperium turns the Tempestus Scions, and potential commissars for that matter, into remorseless and efficient killers. Recruits are usually inducted into the Progenium between the age of 6 and 12. When first entering the halls of the Progenium, the recruits are extensively examined and tested, both mentally and physically. The majority of these tests are looking for the corruption of chaos or the warp. With many of the recruits hailing from worlds ravaged by chaos, it's not uncommon to find the taint of chaos inside these new inductees. The recruits are then separated. Those of which harbour the corruption of chaos are disposed of. Recruits are then divided into training groups by age. These will form the basis of the Scion regiments the recruits will become. With recruits hailing from different worlds, they held different beliefs and customs. To remove the chance of culture shocks and disunity, the drill instructors go to great pains in stripping each recruit of their cultural identity, recasting them all in the same mould, realigning their loyalty to their superiors, not any other authority from their home. Recruits are then stripped of their belongings and uniform, and are encouraged to forget about their old existence, signified by each recruit choosing a new name, one from a long list of Imperial heroes. Once they have decided on a new name, recruits are then encouraged to aspire to it. The drill instructors will now begin to rebuild the recruit's mind from that of a child to an elite soldier. Through repetition of liturgies, classwork, and lessons, the instructors would begin with a more passive way of rebuilding their mind, but eventually, every recruit will be strapped to an iron chair and face the ordeal of the correction throne. On the correction throne, needles are pierced directly into the recruit's brain, flooding their brain with a neurochemical, cleansing their synapses and wiping away past memories. During this, servo schools relay ecclesiastical texts, helping to further brainwash the cadet. This would inevitably remove all memories of their past lives. However, some cadets would still experience visions and dreams of their past lives. During this period, the cadets will have begun training in warfare, beginning their education on basic combat to the finer points of strategy. Each recruit is watched closely. Any that exhibit a lack of conformity that border worrying levels are then released into the training grounds and hunted by their fellow recruits. Additionally, any cadet that would directly disobey orders will be struck down where they stand by the drill instructors on their great hammers, mounting whatever remains of the unfortunate recruit in the cadet's dormitory as a grim message. The actual training at the Progenium is as hard as it is dangerous. Training exercises are used with live ammunition, physical training is done in full armour, and recruits are often left abandoned in nearby worlds, told to survive harsh conditions. When cadets reach a certain standard of training, they'll begin the trials of compliance, a diverse range of tests to highlight if the recruit will continue down the path of becoming a Tempestus Scion or move further down the lonely but righteous route of the Commissar. Those that fail the trials often become serfs, servitors, or a lucky few will be allowed to join an Astra Militarum regiment. These trials can often change, with some recruits facing horrifying creatures in live fire exercises, and others doing physical exercises, like scaling the facility walls while chanting liturgy. If a cadet stumbles in their liturgy, drill instructors will fire at them. After the trials, successful candidates who survived will then discover their fates in selection day. A vast portion of the cadets are herded into ships destined to become Arbites or Adeptus Sororitas, but the few who showcase particular talent in combat are then transferred to the Scholar Tempestus for further training. At the Scholar Tempestus, the future warriors will learn a range of combat roles, battle doctrines, and most importantly, how to function as a cohesive unit. Once passing through Tempestus training, the recruits find themselves formed into a tight regiment of some of the best baseline human fighters in the Imperium. The majority will become stormtroopers, the closest equivalent the Astra Militarum possess to an elite force. They often change the course of a war over a small number of operations, showcasing their incredible training and discipline in holding critical locations against hordes of foes and leading the charge against the Imperium's enemies. Due to their usual victories, their superior war gear and training, they are often called Glory Boys or Big Toy Soldiers by your average guardsman who are jealous of their skill and access to special gear. Wearing highly protective carapace armour and armed with armour-piercing hellguns, a single squad of stormtroopers can be more dangerous than an entire company of regular guardsmen. However, not all are destined for the Astra Militarum war machine. Regiments are often requisitioned by the Inquisition to become inquisitorial stormtroopers. Rather than face down the Imperium's enemies on the battlefield, these troopers will guard Inquisition bases and fortresses, and may also man the dreaded black ships, with a selected few augmenting their personal forces of Inquisitors. Those that particularly excel in their duties may even find themselves recruited directly into the Inquisition as throne agents. Tempestus Scions that excel in battle are often promoted to an officer class, known as Tempesta Prime. These grizzled veterans lead from the front, making decisions on their own initiative that would shock most Astra Militarum officers. A Tempesta Prime is usually accompanied by a command squad, made up of the very best Scions the regiment has to offer. The standard equipment of the Scions is far superior to average guardsmen. As a standard, they are equipped with carapace armour and hotshot lasguns, sometimes referred to as hellguns, a modified high-power lasgun. When it comes to grenades, Tempestus Scions have a wide option to choose from, with most troopers carrying a combination of crack grenades, frag grenades, and melter bombs. Alongside the hellguns, troopers also have access to an arsenal of special weapons, including flamers, grenade launchers, melter guns, plasma guns, and hotshot volley guns, with leaders also getting some access to bolt weapons. One of the most iconic parts of the Tempestus Scions equipment is a special helmet known as the Omnishield helm. These helms can filter out extreme pollution and allow troops to operate in airless environments. Multispectral oculum also allow the troopers constant visuals in a range of conditions, from extreme light to pitch black. A cool anecdote about the Tempestus Scions is they took part in the Operation Comet alongside the Elysian drop troopers in the Taurus campaign. If you want, you can find out more of that operation in my Elysian drop trooper lore video. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I just wanted to give a broad overview of the Tempestus Scions, and I do intend to do a deep dive soon. Let me know what you think of today's video, who you want covering next, and any other lore things you think would be cool for me to do a video on. Thanks guys, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe.